Hello there. Thank you so much for visiting Picket Studios YouTube channel. My name is Theary and today I am sharing this fun card technique called the masking technique using some new products from the latest release. So let's get started. So to start off my card, I am going in with the Cancer Girl stamp set and also using our black hybrid ink pad. I am using this ink pad because I do plan on using my alcohol markers to color this image in, and this ink pad is perfect for that. If you're in the market for a good solid black ink, this one is really nice because it works with a lot of different things. It works with alcohol markers, watercolors, color pencils, so pretty much everything. I did stamp the image twice onto the white cardstock just to get a good impression. So now I'm going in with some masking paper and I'm stamping the same image onto the masking paper. So using this masking paper here, what it's going to do is it's going to block off the areas that I don't want any ink on because I do plan on ink blending this background. Here I'm going in with some fussy cut scissors and I'm fussy cutting the image out. And what I like to do here is I like to rotate my paper instead of my scissors to help with getting a clean cut. So after adhering the masking paper onto the card panel, I went in with this awesome background stamp called School of Fish and laid that on top of the cardstock. I'm just trying to get an idea of the placement here, and once I was happy with the placement, I went in with my anti-static powder tool and applied that onto the card panel. I am going to heat and emboss this image, so using a clear embossing ink, I went ahead and stamped that a few times onto the cardstock. Now after getting a good impression, I went in with clear embossing powder and I applied that throughout the cardstock. Then going in with a really hot heat tool, I went in and heat set the embossing powder. So now that the embossing powder has been heat set, I want to ink blend onto my card panel. So now I'm going in with my life-changing blender brushes and some hybrid inks and I'm blending that onto my card panel. Since we heat emboss the School of Fish background image, that area will resist the ink. So here I'm going in with a few shades of blues and green, and I'm blending that throughout the card panel. As you can see, the images of the School of Fish, it's resisting the ink. I really like this technique as well. This is a really fun technique to use. And once I was happy with the blended background, I went in and spritzed some clean water onto my hand and flicked that all over my card front. I like doing this because the water reacts with the hybrid ink in the background and it creates somewhat of an oxidation effect, making the scene look like little bubbles. So now it's the best part. I like removing the masking paper off of the cardstock and you can see how clean and crisp the image is. Sometimes when the masking paper is a little damp, it does take a little time to remove it. Just make sure to carefully peel it off. Okay, so now that the masking paper has been removed, I went in and used my alcohol markers to color in the image. I am going to play some music here so you can enjoy the coloring process, and I will also leave a time link above, so if you're not interested in the coloring part, you can go ahead and forward it to that time. Okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I'm back. So to create my sentiment, I wanted to use the golden sparkle paper glitz. So there's so many things you can do with this product. For this card here, what I'm doing is I'm just applying it onto black cardstock, and I'm going to let it dry because I want to use this as the paper to die cut the sentiment. So here I'm just applying it onto black cardstock, and I did leave it out to dry. And here you can see how it looks once everything's been dried. It just looks amazing on black cardstock, doesn't it? Okay, so now for the sentiment. I am going in with the coordinating dies, and I'm just die cutting the word Cancer out of this gold cardstock. And I'm also die cutting the word Cancer out a few times out of white cardstock. The reason why I'm doing lots of die cutting here is because I want to layer each of the sentiment together. This will help create a lot of dimension on the card front. So here I'm going in with some liquid adhesive, and I'm adhering each of the die cuts together, making sure to align it nicely together. And once I have that all ready to go, I'm just placing it here on the card front just to get an idea of where I want things to go. I am going in with some of this awesome sequins here. This one is called Shark Watch, and I'm just picking a few of the shark sequins and applying it onto the card front. Here's a close-up look at the mix. It's just amazing. This is perfect for any underwater scene, and it will be awesome for a shaker card. So then going in with just a basic rectangle die from my stash, I went ahead and die cut the card panel. And I also trimmed down a black cardstock just a little bit larger than the card front. I wanted to create a little matting effect, and I love doing this because it just creates a little bit of interest onto the card front without doing too much. So now it's time to assemble everything together. So I adhered the card panel onto the black matted card piece, and I'm adhering that onto a top folding white card base. And once that has been adhered, I went ahead and adhered the Cancer sentiment on top of the card panel. And lastly, for the final touches, I like going in with my white gel pen, and I like to add details and highlights throughout the card panel. And that's it. This completes the card. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.